All right, today is April 27th, and we are having another edition of our idea share. So this is something we started kind of when we all started going into quarantine, and it's just an opportunity for us to have some discussions about what's going on with our churches and you know what our ministry looks like right now. So as always, we'll just open it up, and please feel free to shout out a question, or maybe what your Sunday looked like, or question, you know, what are some issues that we can help each other with. And if there's nothing, I'll get us started. One thing that I know, like our staff has been talking about, and I'm Beth with Key Ministry. I didn't say that. Catherine Boyle is also with Key Ministry, so look for her. She's our director of mental health ministry. I serve on a church staff as well. So one thing we were talking about is Mother's Day. Are you doing anything kind of interesting, special, different for Mother's Day this year at your churches? Anyone? All right, I'll share. Oh, Catherine, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, my church actually had drive-in church yesterday, and it was wonderful. Just got to say, it was like kind of overwhelmingly wonderful to get to see people that you haven't seen for 2 months. We stayed in the car, but one thing that was done was the children's ministry director was wearing a mask and gloves, and every kid, you know, every family that had a child got a bag full of something, and they were labeled elementary, you know, whatever age. So as they drove through, you know, they could pick up items to I didn't see what they were, but I'm sure that they were to help the kids during the worship time in the car, and probably, you know, focused somewhat on a lesson of some kind, even though there was not a children's lesson that was delivered. But it seems to me that that has application for lots of things, and maybe it is Mother's Day kinds of things as we get a little closer to that weekend.
Okay, great. I love that. I did see a picture of your church parking lot. That looked fun. Has anybody else done the drive-in church yet? No. Okay.
Yeah, but something that we did this week, I can kind of share. It ended up being pretty cool. So we did the Price is Right through Zoom, and we did it for our adult mosaic, or our adult special needs individuals, and then we did one later that night with parents. And it turned out to be a really cool hit. So also, whoever mentioned talent show last week, I think that's a really good thing. I think it might have been Doc, but we're looking into doing something like that, or maybe it's Tony. But thanks for sharing your ideas. It was it ended up being really fun.
That's cool.
And so it was a great connecting event, and we just enjoyed it. So thank you.
This is Karen. Could you just describe that a little bit? I guess I hadn't heard about that. I'm new to Zoom this morning.
Yeah, so we you can do we did it through PowerPoint. So we did a PowerPoint and we screen shared, and then we had some two of the other staff that were taking points throughout the system. So I would share an item like a $50 gift certificate to this volunteer's favorite restaurant, and how much is that worth? We kind of started off easy, and then we kind of went through some funny items here and there and allow people to win. And every time they won, then you could go to this Plinko where they got to choose a number and they can get extra points, and the winner got a $25 gift card to wherever they wanted to. So it was screen shared through Zoom, and then there's a couple different views you could have. So, and we did it with parents as well. So that's how we did it. And we're trying to do that every other week. We're doing another game. I think we're trying to do like wits and wagers through Zoom next time. So.
Cool. Thank you. So you did it, the one in the evening you did for the parents of the kids that are part of your special needs ministry?
Yeah, so we invited all parents. We had about, I mean, it wasn't a high percentage. We had probably 20 parents show up, which was really great.
Wow. I'm impressed.
So yeah, and we got good feedback. So I was wondering about how it went, and then we sent out a feedback form, and people wanted to do something like that again. So it was encouraging to see that.
And what time of night did you do it?
We did for the actual adults, we did it at 3 p.m. And then for the parents, we did it went an hour. So started at 8, went to 9.
And had you been doing anything specific, like just for parents before that?
We've been sending out videos and different updating information about, hey, here's some activities that, like, some things you can do with your kids, but we hadn't gotten all the parents together. We were just trying to figure out a way that would be fun, and just figured out that they're getting so much information from our church that we kind of dumbed it down, and we stopped communicating a lot of big things because I don't want to overload. Like, there's a point at which you just debilitated and you stop. And so we, as a ministry, they were getting so much good stuff, and it's good quality stuff through the church. And so we kind of minimized it a little bit, and then wanted to do something more fun. And then people sat around and talked for a little bit, and kind of gave a little bit of updates about crazy things their kids have been doing, and spray painting the fridge and the countertops with one of the kids with the spray bottle. So they spent a lot of time fixing all that.
Oh boy. Okay. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
And I can share in the most, I mean, it's not amazing, but I can share in the materials. If anybody wants anything, just let me know.
Okay. That'd be great. Let's see. I wonder if there's a way, Catherine, help me think through if there's a way to, we can't post or share. Tony, you had asked me this too, everybody's contact info. Well, Catherine, if you think of a good way that we could post something like that, I mean, I can.
You mean in this discussion, or would?
I guess in the chat you can.
Okay.
Do you want me to just put my email in there? And if people want it, they can email me?
Email me too. You could email it to me right now, and I could post it in the chat if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, or if you want to put your email in the chat, and then if anybody's interested in that,
either way
thing, they can, or if it's something I can post, we'll figure.
Yeah, I mean, there's no copyright. I mean, I don't really care.
Okay.
So I'm not really worried.
Okay.
We're not selling it, so I
Right.
think it's okay to do that. I don't know.
So something that my church is doing, and this is not specific to, like the special needs ministry or anything, but they're asking for kids to record. So I guess this would be with the help of parents, but record just like a 15, 20-second shout out to their mom, and to email it to the church. I think it's a video, actually. And they're going to do something with that. And I don't know what they're doing, but that's something that can involve, everybody in the church. Yes.
Hey, I was just going to say, so I came on last week and I was saying that we were going to try a family fun night this weekend.
And?
We tried it.
Okay.
And a bit like what the other gentleman was saying, it was a success. It was my trial run of a potential for an alternative respite night.
Okay.
So I sent the invite to staff members with family and to some of my regular respite volunteers. So we all got together, we did a big Zoom call, we went into breakout rooms, we did lots of different activities, we tried lots of style games to see what worked, what didn't work. Of course, everything that we thought would take 5 or 10 minutes took like 1 minute. And there were some lovely extra additions, like people showed all their pets. And things that worked really well that I got a lot of feedback were simple activities, like they built the food towers, and even my individual adults that had joined the conversation as respite volunteers, they had fun doing that. We made paper aeroplanes from scrap paper. That was fun. We also did some dress up in like summer clothing and props. And then we did like sort of screenshots of each family. And that they were successful. We did quite a few scavenger hunts. that were successful. So our aim now is to try and provide that for as many respite families this weekend. We're still, one thing that was good was that we realized we love the variety of ages, because I just did the automatic breakout room allocation. I didn't sort of group it by families that know each other or went to the same campus, etc. And it was fun. They enjoyed it. They loved watching each other and the different age groups interacting, and stories that came out about the parents. And but so yeah, we're trying to see how we can now extend that to our special needs ministry and see what happens.
Okay, fun.
Hmm.
And that you're gonna roll it out this weekend.
That's our aim, yes. We're just trying to figure out how many people. We actually worked out that even just having 4 or 5 families in a chat room was enough in a breakout room to do the activities, to have interaction with each other. So we're trying to see what sort of numbers we could have in a breakout room, and it would still be fun and accessible and social. So yeah, so that's our next aim for next weekend, to do that with our respite families. And we ran it at 4:30 on the Saturday night, and it lasted about an hour. And we sent a quiz out the night before, and then we gave the answers during the session, so there was something to do prior to it as well. So
and did you, the email that went out prior, did that have like, you'll need a piece of paper and you'll need a summer hat?
yes, yeah, we sort of gave 3 lists of resources that they would need, thinking that for some of the families that was a fun activity in itself. My 5-year-old loved finding all his summer clothing and snorkeling, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. And then yeah, the food cans and tins and what have you. But then some of the families said with their older kids, because it was so accessible, it took a shorter time. So that's just something we can sort of weigh up going forward. But yeah, it worked well.
Okay, all right. So there's 2 good reports right there from people that have tried this family fun night idea. Love it. Thank you. What else have you all tried or are thinking about?
Well, I'm with the Oakland Mediation Center. I'm Amro. We're a mediation service provider. We do all kinds of mediations for the courts and for personal. And some of the things that we've done are Coffee and Connect. So we have connections with our special education mediation services team, and we meet with them monthly, and we talk to them. We've trying to think of stuff to do for the volunteers. So one of the things that we're thinking about doing is this thing called quarantine karaoke, and we're gonna try to have everyone play their favorite song, and have people can sing along and things like that, and we're gonna see how that's gonna work out. But I like the idea of the games for the family fun night, Allison. I might I'll report that to my supervisor, but she had me come out here just to introduce myself and get some ideas and share some as well.
Great, thank you. We're glad you're here, and so welcome. And Karen, you said this is your first time as well.
Right. Good to be here.
And anybody else that's joining us for the first time, we're very glad you're here. Let's see. This made me think. Oh, so Catherine shared that her church did the drive-in service, and although there was not a children's component, there were bags or some kind of something that was handed out. I know there are some churches that are doing a downloadable, like an activity sheet, so that if the kids are following along with the online sermon, it makes it a little bit more relatable. It's just a general thing like who's speaking, where in God's big story is today's sermon from, things like that. Is anybody doing anything along those lines? Either a downloadable kind of fill in the blank thing or some kind of goodie bag that contains something to go along with the sermon?
For ours, it's online, but it's a program called Kahoot. It's a quiz that you can build. So we've done, we usually have about 15 questions, and probably like 5 to 7 of those directly relate to the sermon or whatever is happening. And then the other ones are either like general Bible trivia the kids would know, or like things that we've talked about like a lot already. And that's been pretty successful. We've done it for about, I mean, however long we've been in house arrest. And we still get pretty high engagement. So it's kind of a nice way to, after they kind of pay attention because they know the questions are coming, and they could play it with their family. And so it's kind of like an all play kind of thing. And we could track, who plays and how often they're playing and all of that. So it's kind of fun.
So Bronwyn is the inclusion coordinator at a church in California. So good morning. We make these really early for you. Yes.
I was eating breakfast. Thank you.
Okay. So can you tell us, I'm sort of familiar with Kahoot because I think my kids have used it at school, but can you tell us a little bit more about that platform, and, is it a licensing thing or is it a free type of deal?
I think it's one of those where there's a spectrum of what features you can have. I think our church, we've had an account for a while because we usually do Kahoot in conjunction with our big summer camp. So we just kind of amended it to do it now every week. So it's a quiz building platform. It's an app. And so we've done it where we figured out how to add pictures to it. So some of the younger kids or our nonverbal kids or kids who cannot read are able to access. So it's like, what animal did Jesus ride in on? Picture donkey and llama and whatever. And so it's an app. It's pretty easy, pretty, as far as it's pretty user friendly. Families can use it together. The kids certainly know how to use it. They're like, oh yeah, I know how to do Kahoot. And it's color coded. So all the answers, it's like A is a color, A is red, B is blue, C is green. Like, so it's a really visually appealing thing for kids. And so, yeah, I would totally recommend it. As far as cost goes, like I said, our church has had an account for a while, but I do think there are if you have trial versions, if you want to try it out. And it's pretty easy. The way we do it is our children's director, she makes the questions, and then I do the answer choices because she's like, I want something fun and like kind of different. And then our junior high, like our young adult and junior high director, he actually does the tech stuff. So he adds it on the platform. He adds pictures. He changes up words if something is too long or it looks too cumbersome. So we have a whole kind of well-oiled system that we do now. It doesn't take very long. I mean, we could, between the three of us, we can get it done in like an hour and 15 minutes all together before it's uploaded. So, yeah. And
can we go to your church's website to see it, or is it something that do you send out that Sunday's quiz?
It should be right on there. I could put it in the chat. It should be right on there because we list all of our offerings every week, and it should be Kahoot for the week should be right on there.
Okay.
Let me go check.
If it's easy
Sure.
to do. Yeah, I'd love to check that out. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I did a Kahoot when I was attending my one of my son's freshman orientation at Ohio State. So I think even the college kids use it. So, okay. What other clever ideas do we have going on? Well, let me open up this, so kind of change the subject, but I know there's been a few webinars and such over the last few days, and then coming up this week. So Catherine and Doc, if you want to take turns telling us what you've done recently and what you have coming up, because these webinars are open to all of us. And it looks like Doc might be on the phone. Okay, Catherine, do you want to talk about what you've done in the last week and what's coming up this Wednesday, please?
Yes. So last week we interviewed Janine McConaughey, who is a retired professor, and also an expert in trauma. And she talked about just some of the, I guess the unique perspective that a person who has lived with trauma may be experiencing in this time, and how, some strategies for how parents and mental health providers can help mitigate the trauma, help minimize it, help the person who is struggling develop or continue with improved coping mechanisms. She really had some great things to say. I just loved that she talked about things like coming in low, which is not coming at somebody with a million questions and trying to berate them into better behavior or what you want them to do, but to really just kind of come alongside and offer a listening ear and companionship as a very important factor in helping people who have struggled with trauma. So that video, we record all of these webinars. That video is on our coronavirus page on keyministry.org. We update that page just about every day. And we also have it on our social media, as well as our Vimeo and YouTube channels. And then this Wednesday, I've been working with Al Faria, who is in the group right now. Al is on staff at Liquid Church, which is a large, I think it's 7 campus mega church that's in northern New Jersey. And as a result, they are very involved with really the biggest hotspot in the country that's dealing with coronavirus right now. A lot of their work has turned towards really meeting, the very, significant needs that have arisen as a result of coronavirus. Not only the health impacts, but also Liquid has become a distribution point for a lot of relief type supplies that have gone into that community and into the New York City area. And in particular, because that church is located so close to New York, they've had to deal with a lot of death and a lot of, the grief that goes along with all of these losses. Is certainly the loss of life, the inability to gather for funerals, that sort of thing, but also the job-related type losses. So we're going to be talking on Wednesday at noon Eastern with Kieran Shannon, who is on their pastoral team, about some of the ways that they are helping their community deal with all the various forms of grief, and then also hear what they are doing to help, meet some practical needs, and how they are also helping their staff make sure that they are well equipped and prepared and refreshed to be able to continue with the ongoing grief needs. So please do register for that. We'll record it, but of course, if you can attend it Wednesday at 12, that's great.
Okay, and the
We had a sermon 2 weeks ago about putting on your own mask first, because people are getting tired now. So for the staff and the church to keep their mental health and all that, self-care and things like that. So Karen will be giving some of those, as well as some of the practical other things that Liquid is doing to try to help in our area. And we have had a number of deaths of people in the church and related to the church, so we're getting hit with quite a bit at this time. So everyone's a little tired right now, especially because of that.
Thank you. Thanks for helping put this together, Al. Looking forward to it. So you can register for that at keyministry.org. Just click on the events tab and you can register for that. Doc, are you available to tell us about what you have going on, or should we come back to you? I'm guessing we're coming back to him. Yeah, we'll come back to him. Okay. Let's see. What other, last week we talked a lot about serving some of the adults in our ministries. How about for those of you who work with younger kids? Anything in particular you've been doing for the families?
I mean, we're running into, and I'm sure all of you too, it's not so much the kids with the needs, but it's the overwhelmed parents that they're just like, I cannot do another day. We're seeing a lot of kids now. I mean, we've been out of school for 6 or 7 weeks, and I've been hearing a lot of kids, big behaviors, like the big aggressive behaviors are coming out. Like all of the, one of the kids, his mom texted me, he's threatening to run away. He's like packing up his stuff. He said it's too hard. So we're seeing like all of this kind of escalate. And so we've been trying to figure out how to support and encourage parents. And I mean, it is really hard and sad, because a lot of it, a lot of that, like just interaction you would normally have with someone on a Sunday morning, standing by them, talking to them face to face, like all of that is gone. And so it is really hard to figure out, are we reaching parents? And we do hear from some that are like, yeah, like this is great. How are we reaching parents? And as the needs start to explode in our community, how does this translate to what we do? I don't think we have tons of like great answers yet, but I don't know, some of you maybe who have, and we have like our parent support group that we've had going for a number of years now. There's that, we have some resources online that people have asked for and all those things, but just that connection, because that obviously impacts the kids, right? Like stressed out parents and stressed out kids together, isolated in a home, is just not going well for so many of them. So.
And I think Bronwyn brought up a good point. We have talked about how do we get, some of our resources and the Sunday morning things out to the parents, but a lot of families right now are very overwhelmed with even just the schoolwork that they have to do. And I know on one of these we talked about, this summer maybe they'll be looking for more activities. But yeah, I think you brought up a great point that really just parents are looking for support, not necessarily more work to do with their kids. Has anybody been doing any, I know a few of you do the online support groups, but have you been reaching out in any other ways that you have found, the parents are finding helpful?
I'm Karen from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we have a mega church up here. And something that was very easy to do, we were concerned about losing that connection that the parents have as they bring their kids on Sunday mornings and they have fellowship and so on. And we wanted to maintain that kind of connection somehow. And so we sent out an email to all of our volunteers. And we said, would you be willing to just send in, a verse that just really speaks to you, if you want to run with that and write a little devotional, something like that. And we'll put it out each day. And so we have done that. Every day, a different volunteer has sent in their verse, their message, and then we identify where they serve, because not all the families know where all the volunteers are. And we are hearing from just everyone that just really starts their day well and maintains that connection. Oh yeah, this is Dale. He teaches the adults, and oh yeah, here's so and so. And we want to maintain that for our families.
So Karen, what form are you using for that? Are you emailing that or putting it in a Facebook group?
We are emailing it. Okay. And that's how we get our newsletter out. And so the families are pretty comfortable with that. Mm-hmm. And so we just send it out in an email each day. That's been fun. That has worked well for us.
Okay. Great, thank you. Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself before as well. I'm Alison Kellisek. I'm in Pennsylvania, originally from England, but over here now for 8 years. Special Needs Ministry Director at Willowdale Chapel in Kennett Square. But what I was going to say, we did this weekend, again, it was just something little, but I reached out to my families from Sundays and asked them just to send like a 2-3 second video of their kids saying hello, because I was doing the hello to the whole church. So interspersed with my hello and our service for this Sunday was a video montage of, I think I had about almost 20 kids saying hello. And I think from the parents' perspective, it was just a reminder of, hey, we're still here, don't forget about us. And my volunteers loved it because it was a surprise for them. They didn't know the kids were doing it. And the kids themselves were just absolute stars. They were just brilliant. And I think it was just a reminder, it's part of our bigger family, we're all in this together, but it was just seeing their faces and just their joy, it just made the weekend. It was brilliant.
So we did that, but we did it, the volunteers said the hello, and we shared it with the families. But I love that idea too, because that really kind of re-engages the volunteers when they, yeah, that's great.
So how do you do that? Does everybody use their phone, or how do you do that?
Yes, they just use their phones, but there were two key things. One, keep the message to about no longer than 3 seconds. 5, I think, is about the top. And then email it. If I got it via text, it was very grainy, but if they emailed it to me, it was great. And I can't take responsibility for the technology of putting it all together. That was one of our campus pastors who's very techie.
I actually figured it out for ours, but it you know, I've got a couple teenage kids here, so they sort of help me. It's not hard. So Doc is back. I'd like him to fill us in on, he's been doing some webinars with SOAR Special Needs Ministry. So Doc, could you fill us in on what's coming up or what you've done?
Absolutely. Yeah, I apologize. I had a call I've been expecting that came in just then. So yeah, I've been doing Talk with Doc on every Friday at noon Central Time. We've done 4 now. Last week we did disability ministry. What will summer be? Had a fantastic talk on just kind of coming up with ideas, some practical ideas for summer programming, as most likely most people are going to end up having to cancel their vacation Bible schools and camps and things like that, ways we can think through that. We've got that up on our SOAR Facebook page, as well as our SOAR YouTube page, SOAR, Special Needs. And every week we're having a talk either going towards families or disability ministry. This week, we're going to be doing navigating choppy waters, how to find the right service, both now, during, and after COVID-19. I've got 2 disability advocates coming in who both happen to be moms as well. And they know it backwards and forwards, and help you be able to find the right services that you need, no matter what state you're in. Next week, we'll be having a mom's forum. I'll have about 5 different moms of children with disabilities, and just be talking through everything going on. But last week's talk was so good, I'm sitting ready to try to reschedule another one. We actually went over because we had such great discussion with that. But I've got content now for the next 6 weeks already scheduled out. A lot of great things going on. One of the other things we're going to do is for our families, we're going to do a SOAR town hall coming up here within the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to find a date to do that, and just really try to open it up, and it'll be through Zoom, and talk with our families, get them on, probably do it on a Saturday night evening, and just talk with them, see what their needs really are and how we can best meet their needs. You know, we can all guess at what the needs are, but I think the best way to find out what their needs really are is to talk to them. So we're going to be talking to them and find out what it is, and then let them know how we're going to be going about things. We're also kind of going to be working on some of the things Allison shared. We're working on creating virtual respite nights, kind of a 2-part respite night, one that families can just do on their own in the home. But then also we want to get another one where we can bring our volunteers into it and actually have buddies and try to give parents a little time off, if nothing else, maybe just to be able to have dinner together. But I encourage you to you can go to our website. It's soarspecialneeds.com, SOAR specialneeds.com, and you can register for any of our Talk with Doc webinars every Friday.
Thank you. Great. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, Amro, can you tell us about the webinar that you posted in the chat, please?
Oh yes. So basically what that is my supervisor, Megan Dennis, she's the head of the mediation department at my job here, and basically she has been doing mediation and conflict resolution services for over like 10 years, and she just wants to give back And we're just trying to really get our name out there, and we have tons of resources. So this would kind of just be like a presentation on, you know, ways that we can resolve conflict when people don't agree, but it's also, you know, an opportunity to participate and, you know, join in on the conversation as well.
Great. So for those who are perhaps watching the recording of this and can't see the chat, it's called How to Get Along When We Don't Agree, and it's happening April 30th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And he provided the link, so we can post that link on our website on keyministry.org when we post this recording on the coronavirus page.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you very much.
Can I throw out a couple other things as well?
Please.
So today I was actually emailed an article from, I guess it's from the Chuck Colson Center. It's the Breakpoint Daily article. And if you guys get that, or even if you don't, you know, today John Stonestreet was talking about the special needs families and how, you know, they really need to have some extra focus and attention because you know, they feel isolated already, and coronavirus, all the impacts are so isolating. So I'll be working that into our social media rotation over the next couple of days. But I thought it was great that, you know, an organization that has reached far beyond probably what any of our ministries do and into totally different areas is focusing on this a little bit as well. And also just wanted to share, it's not a Key Ministry sponsored opportunity, but Dr. Gersovich is going to be a guest presenter tomorrow with Kay Warren and Dr. Tim Murphy. The Health and Human Services Partnership Center, which is the faith-based office, is starting a series of webinars on mental health needs to help pastors and faith leaders start to focus on meeting those kinds of needs and to provide some tools, resources, equipping for them. And so Steve, I think, is going to be the lead-off presenter in tomorrow's webinar. That's listed on our events page on our website as well. It's free to join. I'm not sure what we'll have, you know, in terms of a recording afterwards, but whatever we do get, transcript or whatever, we'll share it on our website and social media as well.
Great, thank you.
Great, thank you.
So keyministry.org/events for that.
Hey, just a comment. There's a lot of research out there that shows that exercise reduces anxiety, and especially in these times when everybody's in the house, you know, exercise with the kids. It's good for the parents too. It also helps build immunity, and I think a couple of you are going to join our exercise group, but again, anybody's free to do that. But even if you don't, I mean, promote exercise for this population at home because they don't get enough of it, and we need to do more of that, and it's good for them and it's good for everybody. I mean, that can be everything from working out to taking a walk, walking the dog. I got a video on our Facebook page of my son putting the dishes away, and I say that's one of the best exercises you could ever possibly do. And so it's just important to keep people active, and it's good for them, and plus it burns off energy.
So you can learn more about what Tony's talking about and about his organization, and that's at jacobsladderfitness.com. So thank you, Tony.
Sure.
Pearson is asking, is SOAR, what will summer be available to watch somewhere? Is there a link? So yes, there is. Doc, do you want to give us more info on that?
Yes, so you can either go to YouTube to SOAR Special Needs, SOAR Special Needs, and you'll be able to find it on YouTube, as well as our previous three other Talk with Docs. Or you can go to SOAR Special Needs on Facebook, and it's there on that Facebook page. And then also I posted it this morning on the Special Needs Leaders Facebook page as well.
So show of hands, how many of you are in the Special Needs and Disability Ministry Leaders Facebook forum. Okay, so if you're not familiar with this, it's if you go to keyministry.org and click on the For Churches tab, it's one of the resources that's listed. It is a group of, gosh, Catherine, how many are we up to now in that group?
It's around 2,000. I'm not sure if it's over yet, but
I think we've hit 2,000.
close.
So these are ministry leaders. You have to answer 3 questions to get in. Catherine just put the link in the chat. So it's facebook.com/group/SNAD leaders, SNAD leaders. But it's a great place to get, quick links to like what Doc just mentioned. Also, if you have a question, you can throw it out there, and I guarantee you somebody on some time zone will answer it really quickly for you. So I love it when I post something at night and I wake up and my California friends have answered it for me. So woo-hoo. So that's a great resource. And every Monday we have a Market Monday opportunity. So if you have resources, like if you've written a book or you put together curriculum or whatever, we provide that link for you each week to post in that thread, so that we keep it kind of commercial free the rest of the week, but we do want to learn about what resources everybody are offering. And Doc has posted the YouTube link in the chat, so please take a look at that. The question is, what time zone is a fitness class? Tony lives in Cleveland, so he is on the Eastern time zone. All right. Any other questions, ideas, comments? How you doing? Al has posted breakpoint.org. The parents of special needs children have needs too. So that's the article that Catherine referenced a few minutes ago. Thank you, Al. And we'll include that too when we do this, when I post this on our Facebook, our website. Oh, all right. Thank you, Christy, mother of Pearson. All right. Any last thoughts? All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining in again. This is such a great touch point for me, I know. We really appreciate you. So on behalf of Key Ministry, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for having us.